We are at actually the top of the trailhead. So here we are. This is the old firehouse. This is where they were stationed to look out for forest fires. Trying to block the wind. It's pretty windy up here, but yeah, I'll give you a wraparound view. Look at this. Easily 100-kilometer view up and down the valley. Easily. Now, what I saw earlier, which I thought was the top of the tree line and the contact, was actually not. It was this slope right here, which is the top of the hard sandstone layer. So I still got another 100 feet, it looks about 100 feet. So I've now left the easygoing trail, and I now get to rough it. I'm afraid this may be the end of the line for me. I'm by myself, I'm chimneying, and up here looks like a fairly decent climb, but I can't tell, and I'm very tired. If I wipe out, I'm by myself. Yeah, sure, I got a cell phone, which fortunately is working, but I really don't feel like breaking bones. So I think I'm just going to chimney down out of here, and the trail does go off to the side. I'll see if there's an easier way up, but I may just have to turn around here. Anyway, here we go. I didn't even go 30 feet along the cliff. Much easier way up, right through there. Wow, what a climb. Oh, doesn't look too bad from here. I am wiped. It's all I can do to go 5-10 feet at a time, but I think I found it. I was just about ready to give up and say, well, I guess it isn't here and must be covered up, but I'm gonna go back home. Well, back to the van, my home. But I got a closer look. I see two junctions there. Top one could just be very finely laminated limestone, but the bottom one looks like shale. In fact, both those layers look like shale. I'll take a close look. It sure doesn't look like shale. It looks like limestone to me, but it erodes like shale. Look at that, slope forming, very finely laminated. I can't even tell where the contact is. I think it's up there. Right dead center of the screen, you can see that one over cut. In fact, I'm going to get a close-up of that right now. Bingo, this is it. That is not limestone. I found a piece that was broken open. That's red shale. And that is the Coleman overthrust. So right on. Am I ever glad I made it up here. Now, it looks like the contact's up there. I've already documented it, so maybe I'll head over to that fault over there and take a closer look. Okay, so the contact, okay, here's red shale here. This is, I believe this is limestone, but it's not red shale up here. Contact's right there. You can sort of see a color differentiation, just very subtle. Right there, you can see it's whitish on the bottom layer, grayish on top. The contact is so knife edge, it is difficult to discern. So obviously, if you have 2,000 feet of rock resting on top, and somehow that slid for 75 kilometers over this layer, knife edge contact without even heating up the rock. I mean, look at that. If that had slid that much with if it had slid an inch with 2,000 feet of rock on it, it would have melted rock. We would see the rock, we would see it with our own bare eyes. You would see the heat results. So obviously this layer, I would come to the conclusion, did not slide over this layer. It was laid down on top of this one. So based on the ages of the fossils, this is supposed to be 400 to 600 million year old rock. I don't believe those ages, but let's go with it for a second. That is supposed to be 400 to 600 million years old, resting on top of 200 million year old shale. Once again, the geologic column is completely inverted. The only place the geologic column exists is in the textbooks. Man, I'm a long way up here. Okay, this part was pretty dicey. It's very steep, goes into a ravine, and slides down continuously. There's actually about a 15-foot drop there. So I'm gonna try and cut across here. There's actually rock ledges. This was safer than the trail because the trail actually slides beeline. I don't know how you could even not slide into the ravine and just keep on going. So, but I figured I'd videotape it because last time I did something like this, well, I started sliding and the camera was rolling. So I figured I'd catch it on film. At least you guys could see the blood then. So. It is a real workout. Down climbing, let me tell you. There you can see the other trail where it slides. I mean, how would you stop? I don't know how you stop. At least this way, I got some ledges to land on. Oh yes. Pam posted on Facebook she wanted to see me climbing one hand. Oh, here we go. I don't know if I can. I can't, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to jump. No handholds or footholds, just smooth rock. Okay, you gotta see this here, I gotta show you this. Okay. There's the trail. Okay, there's the ravine. And there's the trail. This is the way I went. I think it was safer, don't you? Reminds me of the bottom portion of the Bright Angel Trail in Grand Canyon. Look at all the switchbacks, you can see straight down. Going down about an 80 degrees face here. Okay, so I picked up a little trick from Beaver from all those years driving up back and forth to the lodge in northern Quebec. Anyway, road food, okay? So here I am, in the middle of nowhere. Now, I'm not in a survival situation, but I am in an inconvenient situation. I don't have room for cook stoves and stuff in the van. So, good old Chef Boyardee, take your favorite pick. In this case, I've got mini ravioli, okay? Now, you can eat this straight out of the can. It's quite all right, but obviously it's a lot better and a lot nicer tasting when it's hot. The grease doesn't feel quite as greasy. So, you can eat this straight out of the can, or here's a little trick, okay? Okay, so first of all, a couple little points. Take the label, peel the label off. Very important, okay? As much of the label off as you can. Second, very important point, make sure you crack the lid. All you have to do is just pop it just to unseal it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to open it up, okay? Now, pop the hood on your vehicle. Here's the engine, okay? This is the intake manifold. It's the coldest part of the engine. You're looking for the exhaust manifold. It's the hottest part of the engine, okay? Don't touch it, it's hot. And you just put the can there. And then you take a drive up the highway for a few hundred kilometers or just let the engine run for 20 minutes or so, and it'll nicely cook your food for you. Now, if you really want to get adventurous, you can also get tin foil, and you can do things like put potatoes and an onion and some spices and some butter, double wrap it in tin foil, and stuff it in and around the exhaust manifold. Watch out for these wires, okay? They're high voltage, you can get a jolt off those. So maybe you want to set it up while the engine's not running. And if your engine runs rough after you put the tin foil there, then you probably got an electrical leak on your wire. You can move the tinfoil somewhere else. Anyway, you stuff it in there and then drive 100 kilometers up the road or so, drive for an hour or so, come out, you got nicely baked potatoes and baked onions. I think I'm going to start my own cooking show. Now, you remember I told you to make sure you crack that seal? That's very important. Let me introduce you to the principle of a steam explosion. Liquids under pressure can achieve a higher boiling point than liquids at atmospheric pressure. So if the can is sealed, you can get the water and the liquids in there up to like 120, 130 degrees Celsius, 20, 30 degrees above boiling point. Well, eventually the can can't take it anymore. The can will rupture, most likely at the seal, and you get what we call a steam explosion, because now the pressure inside drops to atmospheric pressure. The water inside is now 120, 130 degrees, 20, 30 degrees above boiling point, and it flashes to steam. Now, not only is it extremely dangerous and it can burn you, you can imagine the mess that would make under your hood. So it's very important you crack the lid and let the steam escape. And by the way, I'm not sure if this will void your vehicle manufacturer's warranty, so maybe check the owner's manual. I checked my owner's manual. It doesn't say anything about cooking on the engine voiding the warranty. So, but you might want to double check with the manufacturer first.